Transfer windows are one of the most important and most exciting times in football. There's huge sums of money being spent on the world's best talents so that football clubs can be more competitive against their rivals. Transferring from one club to another is such an important move for a footballer. In a way, it's an opportunity for them to improve and grow on their career. However, in another way, it's a massive risk, as they're essentially stepping out into the unknown. How are they supposed to know that this club that they're moving to is the right fit for them, whether it's the right environment for them? And although there are agents for these players, they don't always have the best interests at heart for these players. One bad move can ruin a career. And it happens time and time again, more often than you think. And yet that begs a question. With so much at stake, for the players and the clubs as well, surely there's a better way of finding the right match. Now imagine if there was a Tinder for football clubs and footballers alike. That would just be amazing, wouldn't it? Well, what if I told you there already is? All that is coming up today on The Rounds.
But I see it better now, 'cause everything you do only says you gotta figure it out.
What's up guys, George Lance here and welcome back to The Rounds on Soccernomics, where we delve into the economic side behind football and also highlight the important things that you might have missed throughout the week. We're in a bit of a weird environment at the moment, not in my usual studio as you can see. I'm currently in lockdown at the moment at my parents' house, some 300 kilometers away from Adelaide. Literally can't see a house for miles, so I'm definitely safe from the vid. But yeah, we soldier on. Now before I get on with today's episode, guys, just got to let you know to hit that subscribe button if you are new. We obviously cover the economics and finance side behind football, so if that's the kind of content you're into, this is the channel for you. All right, let's get into it. All right, so let's imagine for a second you're a footballer. You're a professional footballer in, say, League 2. A new manager's just come into the club, and he comes up to you, sits you down, and the first thing he says is, you're not in his plans. Sounds horrible, but the reality is this happens a lot more often than you think. It's such a cutthroat sport, football. If COVID-19 has taught us anything about sport, football in particular, it's that football clubs are far too exposed to financial risk, especially when it comes to their wages. I mean, wages normally cover about 60% of entire revenues of a football club. That's just on the average side. Some clubs go all the way up to 84%, which is just ridiculous. And of course, to reduce that financial risk, to reduce that liquidity risk, now that revenues have taken a hit as well, these football clubs have to reduce their wage bills and, of course, reduce the size of their squads. Unfortunately, what this does is it makes footballers a lot more dispensable to these clubs, especially those that just aren't quite fitting in or just aren't performing at the levels that the clubs require. Now, the trouble is, if you're a footballer and this happens to you, where do you go from here? I mean, you're not on millions a year already, so you're not exactly financially stable. You probably got a house and a mortgage to pay off. You most likely have a family that you've got to support. There's so many variables there that means that you have to try and find a job ASAP. Now, what do? Of course, what you do is you contact your agent. You see what he can do, pull any strings, contact his network. When you're further down the league, the reality is that your agents, your quality of agents, just aren't as good as those in the Premier League. Some players don't even have agents. Now, with lower quality agents or no agents at all, of course, their network is not as big and they probably don't have as much pull. So the chances are of them grabbing you a position that's right for you as a footballer, probably is a lot lower. And even if they do find a lead for you, how do you know exactly that's exactly the right move for you and your future? That is unfortunately the sad truth about football and football clubs, especially further down the league. So how on earth are players meant to know that the club that they're moving to is right for them? Introducing 11TransFAIR, the new app for footballers and club executives. Founded by former Germany, Bayer Leverkusen and Hamburg goalkeeper René Adler, along with managing director and lawyer Daniel Schollmeier. 11TransFAIR is a startup of former players, lawyers, and transfer experts, which creates opportunities for players and clubs that they wish that they had when they were players. Their aim is to change the game. The app works very similar to that of dating apps, sort of like Tinder for football. Essentially what you do is you create a profile, whether you're a footballer or a club executive, and then you define your search criteria to what you're looking for, and then let the algorithm do the work. This then brings up potential candidates with a match rating based on your criteria, which then you can just swipe yes or no. If the player and the club both say yes to each other, then it's a match. And then what happens then is that there's a contact opportunity between the two parties, with the opportunity to add persons of trust such as player agents to be added to the conversation. I mean, how good is that, right? Like, it's just awesome. It gives the players the opportunity to not only have the power in their hands to find what clubs are the right fit for them, but also gives them an opportunity to grow their personal network and get direct access to communicate with the clubs themselves. I mean, it's so good for clubs as well. I mean, it gives them direct access to communicate with players, verified players that suit their criteria that they're looking for exactly. And it also gives them the opportunity to network too. Now, this has to be too good to be true. There has to be a cost to this. I mean, how are regional clubs and players supposed to be able to afford this service? Now, this is where it gets better. It's absolutely free. How it works is with a risk-free, success-based fee model. What happens is every transfer that goes ahead that has been initiated by 11TransFAIR, there is a commission that's then given of 3% of the player's wages. But how can you be sure you're talking to legitimate club executives and players? Easy. All profiles have to be verified. That filters out all the fake accounts, all the frauds, and of course all the time wasters as well. What's even better is that clubs and players remain anonymous up until the point of contact. That means that they can remain protected from unwanted exposure, especially from their employers. 11TransFAIR's purpose is to create a quicker, safer, more transparent platform for transfers. I mean, they've only been live for what? A month? Not even. And yet, they've already got clubs all the way from the Premier League all the way down to State League 1 South Australia. It's insane how many clubs they've already got in there. I had a look at it earlier today. It's incredible. So if you play football, you want to play football and you're looking for a new club, download the app. Like, it's free to download. For a player, everything is free from start to finish. So you may as well have a look at it. What 11TransFAIR eventually want to do is expand their services, go into different sort of sectors as well, such as transfer fee brokering and other things like that. This is very early days for the platform, but you can already see it's such a promising idea. This is such an idea that could revolutionize how transfers work in football, as it not only gives players the opportunity to have a look at what clubs are available and grow their networks, but also takes back the power, it gives them the power. And it also can reduce things such as conflicts of interest between players and agents. It's incredible how good this could possibly be for the sport. It's also a huge benefit for clubs and players further down the leagues who just don't quite have the resources or the networks to make transfers happen or the correct transfers happen. Now, I'm such a big fan of this app. Like, I cannot stress enough how important this app is for the future of football. I really think this is going to revolutionize how transfers happen. And it may sound like I'm being sponsored by these guys, but I assure you I am not. I'm just so excited to see something new, different, and something better for football and for footballers as well. Like, it's just so cool. But yeah, hopefully one day they will sponsor the YouTube channel. Hey, how good would that be? Soccernomics and 11TransFAIR combined. That'd be sick. That'd be so cool. Anyway, that's all I've got time for you today, guys. If you thought that was really interesting and you think this is the future of football, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below, so go ahead and do that one. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button, and of course, always hit the subscribe button, especially if you are new. All right, have a good day, guys, and I'll catch you very soon.
Being a stranger to what we lost, I'll keep my guard down and hope it comes back around, cause I still just feel like I'm gonna keep running in circles till we find out what we need is each other, space between